Welcome to the Gay Buddhist Forum, where teachers from all schools of Buddhism offer their perspectives on the Dharma and its application in modern times, especially for LGBTQI audiences. These talks are offered freely to the world and made possible by appreciative listeners. If you would like to support our efforts to share the Dharma with underserved audiences, please visit gaybuddhist.org. There you can donate, find a list of upcoming speakers, or enjoy many hundreds of these recorded talks dating back to 1996.
Before I introduce our speaker, tradition is to introduce ourselves by mentioning it, so I'll begin. My name is Jeff.
Donald. Jack. My name is Michael. I'm Alzak. I'm Philip.
My name is Harley. I'm George.
I'm Kay.
I'm David.
Jim.
Joe.
My name is Brian.
My name is Jerry.
My name is Don.
Ralph.
I'm John.
I'm Brad.
Daniel.
George.
My name is Oswaldo.
Peter.
My name's Tom.
I'm Richard.
Will.
John. Can you say your name?
Lee.
Thank you. I'm pleased today to welcome back Jennifer Berezan. She's been here a number of times. She's a unique blend of singer, songwriter, teacher, and activist. And over the course of 8 albums, she has developed and explored recurring themes with the rare wisdom. Her lifelong involvement in environmental, women's, and other justice movements, as well as an interest in Buddhism and earth-based spirituality, is at the heart of her writing. She teaches at the California Institute of Integral Studies in the Department of Philosophy and Religion, and since 1997, her ongoing class entitled The Healing Ecstasy of Sound has explored music as a spiritual practice from a wide range of cross-cultural, traditional, and contemporary perspectives. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you. So great to be back. Thanks for having me. It's not often that I get to spend the morning with a whole group of gorgeous men. So love coming here. It's really my kind of church, you know. Sunday morning, I was so pleased to know I was coming when I woke up. So great to be with all of you. So nice to see familiar faces, and nice to see that there's new men coming to join you as well. It's great. So I'm going to weave together some thoughts and sort of dharmic related thoughts and teachings with chants and songs that hopefully kind of will serve somehow the deeper message. And always love that you're so willing to chant and sing along with me. So hopefully you'll feel free to do that today. I was thinking about what to talk about, and I was driving in my car and started to notice the amazing array of colors in Berkeley, in the trees. It took me a long time coming from Alberta in Canada to even know that there were seasons here. I just always felt like it was glorious and beautiful and warm compared to the kind of winters, you know, sometimes 6 months of snow and winter up where I'm from, up in Calgary. But now that it's been a couple decades, I am more aware of the subtle changes. And so I was thinking about the whole concept of impermanence. And I want to focus on that a little bit today. So beginning with the song along those lines. When this life is over and I have gone away, I'm gonna leave this sweet old world and the troubles and the pain. When I get to heaven, I will not stay, turn myself around again, fall down as the rain, fall down as the rain, fall down as the rain, turn myself around again, fall down as the rain, fall down as the rain, fall down as the rain, turn myself around again, fall down as the rain. When I finally reach the ground and soak into the soil, turn myself around again, come up as golden rod, come up as golden rod, come up as golden rod, turn myself around again, come up as golden rod. And when I turn dry and brown, I'll lay me down to rest, turn myself around again, part of an eagle's nest, part of an eagle's nest, oh, part of an eagle's nest, turn myself around again, part of an eagle's nest. When that eagle learns to fly, I'll flutter from that tree, turn myself around again, part of the mystery, part of the mystery, part of the mystery, turn myself around again, part of the mystery, part of the mystery, part of the mystery, turn myself around again, part of the mystery. When this life is over and I have gone away, I'm gonna leave this sweet old world and the troubles and the pain. When I get to heaven, oh, I will not stay, turn myself around again, fall down as the rain, fall down as the rain, fall down as the rain, turn myself around again, fall down as the rain, fall down as the rain, oh, fall down as the rain, turn myself around again, fall down as the rain, 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 fall From Rumi. O autumn, the source of the dead leaves. Autumn is the buried live root, origin of dead leaves for years. You've beat the drum to tell me only now that I'm dying. Do I realize, only now that I'm dying, do I realize that I'm going to die? O origin of dead leaves, for years you've beat the drum to tell me, but only now that I'm dying do I realize that I'm going to die. Death's throat is raw and exhausted with shouting at me. The dead drum is split and broken from being struck with such astounding force. I've been so woven into the mesh of my trivial errands that only now, as I begin to hear the mystery of dying everywhere, do I understand that I'm going to die. I didn't know if I'd read that because I thought, well, maybe it's a little too depressing. And I thought, you can't really talk about impermanence without looking at that. And it's true that here we are in this amazing time of year, that such a great teacher. I've written some of my best breakup songs this time of year because it's so supportive of loss in a way, you know. And if you're a 4 on the Enneagram like I am, you kind of like that drama, you know. But you know, when I first started to study Buddhism, I studied comparative religion in university as well as women's studies. I had a Buddhist teacher who kind of took delight in scaring us. He was a bit sadistic. And he kind of enjoyed making us squirm with the teachings of impermanence and non-self. And being like 19 years old, it really unsettled me. And I didn't think I liked Buddhism very much. It felt very pessimistic. And the way that he presented it was very almost threatening in some way, you know. And so it took moving to California and studying with people like Thich Nhat Hanh and Pema Chodron and Jack Kornfield and other teachers who started to explain a little more deeply what those teachings mean, and especially the teachings of sort of non-self and the nature of things, whereby everything is in a constant rising and passing away, constant flux of being born and changing and passing away. And there's a beautiful chant in Buddhism that goes, all things are impermanent, they arise and they pass away. To be in harmony with that truth brings great happiness. I thought, okay, well that's a whole different way of framing it. That somehow it's about happiness, you know. It's not this bleak kind of description of reality. And the more that I kind of got into practice, instead of just studying Buddhism, you know, getting a degree in Eastern religions, you can end up with a PhD and having never meditated in your life. And so you're trying to understand concepts like, you know, nothingness and emptiness, and it's all abstract and strange, and until you've actually, you know, sat down maybe for a week in a retreat, and that's what it took for me to start feeling and sensing into what that means, emptiness, you know, non-self, these kind of very esoteric sounding things. But then doing practice and being willing to just get still and stop and look inside with a kind of relaxed attention, as we all are doing, you know. I started to have those moments of, through felt experience, understanding what these teachings are pointing towards, and started to have glimpses of the fact or the reality that within this rising and falling, within this flux of life, of everything, there's a kind of still equanimity that you can connect to when you stop and get quiet and silent and relax. I mean, relaxing is, to me, it's like a lost art now, because we've sort of traded relaxation and non-doing in for surfing the internet. You know, that's our way of relaxing after work or whatever, right? And you know, I think about the great poets who I love, like Walt Whitman, Mary Oliver, William Blake, and they would just sort of wander aimlessly in nature and in the woods in a very kind of relaxed manner. They'd Whitman writes in Leaves of Grass about loafing. I love that term. It's become so negative in a way in our Type A, Silicon Valley culture. But the loafing without a gadget in front of us, that stopping. And his poetry came from the loafing that he did. And the same with Mary Oliver, she talks about her just sitting for hours in New England, just looking and being. And so those kinds of experiences, that stopping, that loafing, that relaxing, I've noticed in my life is when I start to connect to that place that is that kind of calm center that in some ways is untouched by the changing conditions of my life. And so that, it's starting to understand and experience that is a refuge in the midst of all the impermanence. Because otherwise, what I've done, I don't know if you can relate to this, I've just spent a lot of time in my life trying to get all my ducks in a row. Thinking if I can just get the right girlfriend, the right job, the right amount of money, the right place to live, and then of course I have to keep my body together, right? So the right diet, right? Which one do you do? Like the paleo diet, the raw foods, there's 10,000 things we try and we do. And if I can line them all up and get them all working, then I'll be happy. And you know what that's like. I often have this image, I don't know if you've ever seen that game at the fair, it's called whack-a-mole. And you have like these little molds, plastic molds are coming up, and you have to kind of get them all down. And sometimes life just starts to feel like that. You feel like you have that one moment where you're cruising, everything is good, and then boom, your lover breaks up with you or starts to irritate you, and like, how did you end up with this person? Or your job changes, or your health changes, or somebody dies and you're thrown into, or you suddenly realize that you actually haven't worked through the trauma that you experienced as a kid and it's still operating, or whatever it is. It's how. And the great thing about Buddhism is it teaches that it's not really, there's not anything wrong with us when we experience life this way. That it's actually the nature of things. That trying to perfect our lives is never going to happen. And so we create strategies, I think, to cope with that, the disappointments or the frustrations, the grief of it in a way, because we keep expecting it to turn out in a way that we want, And sometimes it does, and it's glorious, and there's great pleasure and celebration, and which is fabulous and wonderful, and we should drink it in and love that. But, ultimately, as we know, we can't control it. And so then we create these strategies like, we drink too much, or we eat, or we distract ourselves with endless stuff online, or, as a way of coping. But it ultimately, just doesn't kind of satisfy in a deep way, as we know. And so this, what you're doing here, what I'm doing here with you, coming together to try instead to open to. Maybe try is not quite the right word, right? Because a lot of the teachers, Buddhist teachers from Asia, say that my friend Nina Wise quotes them this great quote that says, "Enlightenment is the deepest form of relaxation." And so we come here and we stop together and we rest together in the present, so that we can touch into that place that's a deep refuge in the midst of everything, and that's a source of happiness that we can reconnect with, and we can connect to it in our meditation practice. But then I think that once we sort of stabilize that, then it can start to translate out into the world and how we experience life in general. I went to see the teacher Adyashanti, some of you know him, Spirit Rock a couple weekends ago, and he was saying that when you experience yourself as awakened, which is the same as what we're talking about, this experience ourselves as this connecting to that place inside that is not dependent on the conditioned reality of the outer world or even of our mind, our thoughts. When you touch into that, he said, or when you experience yourself as awakened, then you experience, I love this, he said, a deep intimacy with everything. That's one of the ways you know. Are you kind of in a state that's more awakened? You experience an intimacy with everything. So it's, it's not, life doesn't feel strange or distant. You actually feel at home in the world. And you feel, and then that compassion arises for the people we see on the streets or the shopkeeper or whatever, That there's a feeling that we don't have to push it away because it's bugging us, or we don't have to constantly try to get something we don't have because we already feel pretty content because we're opening to the richness of the world instead of not seeing it, So that was the good news for me when I started to discover Dharma, is that through doing practice and various other, spiritual practices and experiences in the natural world, I started to notice that there is this place that is a refuge that we can totally depend on. It was such great news. I came to meditation when I was in my 20s, and it was tumultuous and full of drama. And so the first time I went on a retreat, it was mind-blowing for me and became the beginning of many decades of my path. And I returned to it over and over again, and I found that this path is the most powerful for me in terms of healing and finding a refuge in the storms of life. So as a musician, I became interested in mantras and chant and the capacity for music to help us awaken that state of being inside of us, that place of solidity. Thich Nhat Hanh, often says it's like a combination of feeling super solid, like a mountain, he would say, and spacious and open, like a fresh flower, having both qualities in our being. And so that's what I'd like to do today, is just do some chanting and singing with you as a way to quiet the mind and help us connect into that awakened place inside of ourselves that's not dependent on what might happen when we go home, or what's going on in the outer world. And where they say also that, real joy can arise from. How's that sound? Do some singing? Okay. I don't know if you've heard, but the great teacher Thich Nhat Hanh is in a hospital right now. He's 89 years old, and he's maybe more than anyone responsible for bringing mindfulness practice to the West. He's one of the first teachers who brought it in an accessible way to Westerners through his book. What was it? His first book, Being Peace? Is that what it was? Yeah. So he's 89. He's had a hemorrhage and he's in a coma, and they say he's recovering. But he's old and right now, and he's in a point of his life where we don't know what's going to happen. And so I thought we could start with one of his, what he calls gathas, or phrases that he's written and that people have put to music. They're phrases that help awaken states that we are looking for through meditation, kinds of things that I've been describing. And so it's just very simple, and we'll just sing it. And while we're singing it, sing it as though it's not just like a song, but it's an intention for awakening these states inside of us. So it's just simply in breath, out breath, deep breath, slow breath. Let's say that. In breath, out breath, deep breath, slow breath. Calm breath, ease breath, smile breath, release breath. Calm breath, ease breath, smile breath, release breath. Present moment, wonderful moment. Present moment, wonderful moment. So the smile part, it's a big part of his teachings, and here's this man who lived through the Vietnam War, saw things that we can't even imagine, kind of atrocities, and he's teaching about smiling. Often he teaches this whole practice of smiling on our organs, our heart, our liver, for good reason, Now, of course, science is starting to catch up to spiritual teaching, and there's all this brain work. Maybe some of you are doing that. Everybody's, there's just a new book on the brain and happiness out every week. But they are doing all this work of mapping the brain and showing that smiling, laughing actually does light up parts of the brain that have to do with well-being, and that we pattern our brain, which is more elastic than they thought, by the kinds of habits that we create. And so the smiling part can feel maybe contrived in a way, but it's not like it's just a kind of Pollyanna smiling. It's actually inviting in a space of well-being, flooding our brain with those kinds of messages. Try to find a key that works. Okay. So I'll sing a line and you can sing it back. In breath, out breath, deep breath, slow breath. In breath, out breath, deep breath, slow breath. Calm breath, ease breath, smile breath, release breath. Calm breath, ease breath, smile breath, release breath. All together. allowing the contents of the mind to start to recede a little bit into the background, and continuing to just relax and rest here in the feeling of non-doing. Bringing our awareness more to the feeling of our bodies sitting here. The felt sensation of just sitting here in this room together. And seeing if we can, as much as possible, just bring a feeling of softness towards our experience, whether it's challenging in some ways, in the body or in the mind, or whether it's easeful and pleasant. No matter, regardless of what it is, seeing if we can relax around it. Perhaps bringing our awareness to some place in our body that's calm. Maybe the hands or feet or the belly. Finding that place of calm and spaciousness and resting there. Allowing the contents of the mind to just take a little break. Noticing that we are much more than the contents of the mind or even the feelings of our emotional body, that there's presence and awareness and consciousness. And there's a stillness there. There's an ease there. There's relief there. Also from Thich Nhat Hanh. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I am solid, I am free. 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 In the ultimate I dwell. Let's do a traditional mantra. When Buddhism came to the West, especially in the Vipassana tradition, some of you probably sit in that tradition. Spirit Rock was founded out of that Theravadan Vipassana tradition. One of the things that got dropped was the chanting. So initially when you go to Spirit Rock for the first many years, nobody was chanting. But if you go to Burma, Sri Lanka, or Thailand, in the monasteries, they're always chanting. And in Zen, there's chanting in Zen in the West, but lots of it in Asian Zen. So what we're doing here is very doctrinal, the singing and chanting part. And really, there's a way that I've found that sometimes when I can't quiet my mind through sitting because I'm too agitated, the chanting is a great way into that kind of stabilization, because it has an energy, and the energy, the vibrational energy, literally works on the brain and works on the mind and the body to settle, help settle. And I've had times of pretty intense fear, being on an airplane once that I thought was going down, and because I do this chanting a lot in my life, I spent the first minute freaking out, and then I remembered, I know how to chant, I know how to calm myself, because there's no way I could sit and just do quiet breathing meditation. There's no way that was, the whole the adrenaline is racing, you can't meet that with that kind of silence. So I met it instead with the energy of the chant, and it really, I've used it in a few occasions, and so it's a good thing to have in your toolbox. So this is from the Heart Sutra. It's the last line of the Heart Sutra. And it goes, Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisvaha. When they translate it, it's translated gone, gone, gone beyond the forest, beyond. And you're kind of going, really? Everything's going away? Why do I want to sing about that? And then it goes, hail the goer, and svaha, like alleluia. And there's sort of like this celebration, because again, this is pointing to this space, this outside of changing reality. That everything is going, the separate self is going, this sense of isolation is going. And what is left is this feeling of being connected to everything. And that arises when we let go of being attached to all of the comings and goings and what was in that poem, the trivial things in life. So this is used in the monasteries in Korea. My last album was partly recorded in a monastery with 250 nuns chanting this chant. And the head nun, she plays this during the chanting. And this is really the sound of wake up. And it's very useful because they start their chanting at 4 a.m, so they it's helpful. But it's also that sound, it's the sound of wake up, because you don't know how much time you have left. You could get, maybe half an hour, who knows? Could be hit by a car walking home. Maybe decades left. But it goes so fast, doesn't it? Every time I have a birthday, I go, wow, how did that happen? And it goes so fast. And so this is really the sound of, it goes so fast. Why are we wasting time? There's so much beauty. We get so small. That's the way Pema Chodron always talks about it. We just get caught in these little minds, small little... And look at the glorious world that we've been born into. Phenomenal, amazing place. And we're just like churning about something, So this is the wake up to say, wake up and open to the miracle that's in front of us. And so the chant is a mantra that's created to help our minds do just that. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha. And it's kind of intense. It has energy in it because it's doing something. And it's chanted, trillions of times in the Buddhist world every day. So we'll join in with all the other chanters this morning and just chant it maybe for few minutes, and then I'm going to sing one last song with you, and then we'll have a few comments if you like. So we'll start it in unison, and then if you feel like you want to sing harmony, feel free, and I'll play this along with us to help us wake up. Gate gate parasam gate bodhisvaha 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 Gate gate paragate parasamgate 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 bodhisvaha gate gate thought I'd finish with a song of gratitude, given that Thanksgiving is upon us. They say that gratitude practices, the attitude of gratitude is a great antidote to many things. Feelings of bereft-ness, feelings of not having enough, feelings of resentment. I often have a thing that I do with my partner at night. Often if the day's been really hard or challenging, or if we've been squabbling, we'll say, tell me 3 things that were great about your day. Tell me 3 things that, you loved. And sometimes it can feel, on a really bad one, it can just feel like, And then it becomes actually really fun, Start, find 1, and 2, and then 3, and then it's like, oh, well, there was that guy I saw at the post office who was very amusing. There was that moment that I noticed that my maple tree is turning red, little things, and I start realizing, and by the time we're finished, we're actually in a better mood. And it was literally simple. That's your homework for tonight, whether with someone or speaking it to yourself. So I created a piece of music years ago that is used a lot in many places in the world now, and done big performances with hundreds of artists from around the world all singing the mantra, the chorus, which is called Praises for the World. And I wrote the piece really as a love song for our planet. There's a quote by Alice Walker, a wonderful writer, that goes, anything we love can be saved. It's an invitation to kind of come from a place of intense love and devotion when we're trying to change and heal the world in such difficult times, rather than from a place of, anger can be really helpful, but to really tap into how much we love the world, it makes us want to do something. I just saw that movie Pride last night. Have any of you seen it? About the Welsh miners, and they're really fabulous. And there's the gay community in London in the early 1980s decides to support the Welsh miners' strike, and they have absolutely nothing in common culturally. And then they start to get to know each other, and there's a feeling of love that develops, and out of that there's this mutual support that happens, so much so that in Gay Pride a couple years later, the Welsh miners come and lead the parade in London with their banners, and there's beautiful, it's just a great film. So please join me in singing the chorus. Jasmine breeze like incense in my head. Moon high in a cold black sky illuminates my bed. Train outside my window, keeping vespers some predict the rapture, where we all will leave this place. The chosen ones will pack their bags for somewhere out in space. But the holiest words I've ever read or thought or sung or prayed were praises, praises for the world. This is your part. Thank you all.
Thank you.
So we don't have time for questions, but if you want to say anything or have a question, you can talk afterwards. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So announcement meditation. GBF doesn't require people to register or pay a fee, but we do survive on donations or dana, as it's called, just to practice generosity to help us cover our rent and speaker honorarium and feeding homeless youth. Our newsletter that goes out every month. So we do recommend $10 if you can, more if you can, less, whatever feels generous in your own heart. Next week's speaker is actually an open discussion where we take a topic related to Buddhism and break it into small groups and discuss that. And host and Cliff.
I'm your treasurer of the GBS, and I wanted everybody to know that our status with the IRS, our tax-exempt status, has been restored. So if you are thinking of donating, you can now, if you itemize, any questions you can ask me afterwards.
Good work. Philip.
I'm the host. Most of you know the drill. There's snacks out there, and there's hot water for tea. Wash your cup. And going around with the Dong bowl. And people meet about 12:30 for lunch at the door.
Yes, I'm Kei Matsuda, and again, I will be hosting the annual GBS Thanksgiving potluck on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, November 27th. The meeting starts around 4, but we will eat around 6 o'clock. And it's a potluck, and we try to coordinate dishes. So if you're interested in attending this event in the East Bay, please let me know. And there are also flyers out there to give you further information. Thank you.
Thanks.
So speaking of impermanence, the editor of our newsletter, which comes out every other month, Michael Langdon, he's been editing for 13 years and he has to move on. So we're looking for somebody with language skills and a kind of obsessive attention to detail. And feel free to see me with any questions you have. I have a sort of a job description with the scope of the job if you're interested. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to re-welcome our newcomers, and again invite you to join us afterwards for tea and snacks. And now we'll do our dedication of merit and form a circle. And do you want to do it musically?
Yeah, why don't we sing it? Should we do that? Do you all know it off by heart?
No.
Oh.
Kind of.
Okay, well, I'm just going to improvise it and you come along with me, okay? By the power and truth of this practice, may all beings have happiness, and the causes of happiness. May all be free from sorrow, and the causes of sorrow. May all never be separated from the sacred happiness which is without sorrow. And may all live in equanimity, without too much attachment or too much aversion, believing in the equality of all that lives. Maybe so.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
This is wonderful. I'd love to keep on to the present moment.
Thank you for listening to the Gay Buddhist Forum. If you would like to hear several new talks per month and be notified of upcoming speakers so you can participate live, please subscribe to this podcast, like us on Facebook, and join our mailing list by visiting gaybuddhist.org.